Hello, friends. Welcome back for another box set review from the Beach Boys. I wanted to tell my friend Steve about this cool album I've heard about. It's coming to my record store very soon, and I've heard it'll sell 1 million units in January. Steve, have you heard about the Beach Boys' new Smile?
Oh, wow. Yeah, a million units in January. Guaranteed.
They
The
didn't say
happy
what year.
sound. What is the happy new sound of
There you go. It's got a
Smile?
happy album display piece too, so
Yes, the
there you
happy
go.
album display piece. Very good. That
Yeah,
is a
so
happy album display piece, no doubt.
my happy album display piece just fell over. So, all right. So last time, friends, we talked all about different Beach Boys box sets, just kind of our thoughts, what we liked and didn't like, what we thought should have been included or should have been skipped, and perhaps one of the biggest and most comprehensive Beach Boys box sets from 2011. Steve, talk to me about this Jumbo Smile Sessions. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Well, I think we can certainly say it's the biggest, uh, and it's the best too. I mean, this is just such a fantastic set. It's just like a dream come true. And so often with all the additions and the deluxe packaging on so many sets, the deluxe packaging to me just seems like a way to pad it. That we don't really have quite enough material to get to the price point we want, so we'll make a deluxe package. But man, the package, the contents, everything just gets, triple A plus rating. So yeah, and the booklet,
Yeah, I
fantastic.
mean, you get so many, tangible items, a poster, of course, we 45s, you get a booklet. They did not, scrimp on this at all. I mean, this is very
Yeah,
much a deluxe thing. Of
yeah.
course,
Oh,
the
that premium
markup on it is
cover is
enormous.
just amazing, and
Yeah,
God, I've forgotten what all's in here. It's just fantastic.
but
So
there's
yeah,
a
I
lot.
certainly got. If we look at the oddest track on it, though, I thought the Three Blind Mice from
Okay.
October 1965, just because it's from a different era. It's not part of this.
Yeah, there's a few tracks that kind of fall into that too. Teeter Totter Love,
Yeah,
Tune X, that kind of stuff, where it feels like maybe something that was just had like proximity to the tapes. It isn't really like a
yeah.
smile
Well,
track.
yeah, Teeter Totter Loves at least from the same era, right? I think Tune X as well, or maybe that's a little
Mm.
later. I
They're
don't know.
all right in there, but I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
those would be the other oddball ones for me
I
too.
have.
But yeah, where else are they going to release Teeter Totter Love?
Yeah, I don't know.
If we're going to get to hear it, might as well throw it in here along with everything.
Yeah.
It's certainly not going to be a hit single on its own, I don't think. So yeah, look at
I,
that.
yeah, I do like how we get the vinyl in the box too. Some people might not want to fork out for the just the records, so this way they can get that and get the CDs as well. I know that was a big selling point for people my age when this came out because they might not have had record players, so they wanted the discs. Of
Yeah.
course, if you were like me, I was in college in 2011, so this was the best I could do. I got the little box when it
Hmm.
came out. But even the little box is pretty comprehensive. It still has a few tangible items like a pin, that kind of stuff.
Oh,
And it
okay.
gets, some of just like the major things. They're not going to have all like the heroes and villains takes and that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
some of the stuff like the tape rewinding sounds and the fire crackling sessions and stuff, they aren't really necessary, but they're interesting little tidbits, I think, to kind of throw in there too, kind of give it some character. I gotta
Yeah.
say, my favorite track on the whole set though is Heroes and Villains Do a Lot, where they do Mama Says, but kind of in the style
Oh,
of
yeah,
Smile.
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
my most listened to track
That's
on the whole
cool.
box. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so incredible. And yeah, I mean, I guess in a way it's overkill. I'm not going to pull out and listen to every take of Good Vibrations very often,
Yeah.
but hey, if you're going to do overkill on anything, this is the thing to do overkill with. So,
There you go. You didn't fork out for the one with the light up cover?
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, actually, I I bought it originally as a download, which
Okay.
because it was like half the price to do it as a download, but I hadn't seen the set. And then it was like, oh man. And I hummed and hawed around to, okay, well, I gotta have this. I mean, I just gotta have it. So I ended up paying for a download and then the box, but that's
Eh,
it.
that's okay though. Yeah, so
Oh,
I didn't buy this till just a couple years ago. Because the markup on these is huge. I mean, this could probably sell for $600 or $700 now. I don't doubt, or pretty
really? Are
close
they?
to that.
Yeah,
And someone in Florida had like a warehouse full, I guess. They had all this. I'm assuming it's legitimate. It appears to be, but they were
really.
selling, let's say, at least 15 or 20 of them, and they were marking them way, way down. So I got it for a pretty good price. I wasn't breaking the
Yeah,
bank on it, but yeah, it was definitely worth the purchase. Such an amazing set there.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so of course, Smile Sessions was released on the eve of the group's 50th anniversary, so 2011, so we're almost there. And kind of the capstone to the 50th anniversary was another large set, this time bright orange. Steve, what are your thoughts on Made in California?
Well, this is another one that I didn't buy right away. You can see my copy's a cutout copy.
Oh, yeah, huh.
Quite a long time later for much less than the original price, because there was so much on it that I already had. And remixes are way down the line on things that I'm interested in. The 2012 mix of various tracks. So
Yeah.
I actually went to the library. Our local library had a copy. I took out the library copy and just downloaded the tracks I wanted off of it, and then realized, with a booklet, and I really love the Beach Boys, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. But I bought my copy much later.
Okay.
The things that are on it, the unreleased stuff that's on it is great. There's plenty of cool stuff to have here.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I think the Orphan live tracks, if you're going to give me live tracks, give me a concert, rather than just here's a track from here and here's a track from 10 years later and 30. Here's one from 93 and one from 82 and one from 77. But again, I'd rather have them than not, but they have less appeal than the studio outtake stuff for me.
It's funny. I bought mine a couple years after it was released. It was actually the gift to myself for my first year as a teacher. I saved up and bought
Oh,
it at the end of the school year. But I say that because everything you just said are on the list of reviews. Those same criticisms keep popping up. Instead of like 80s and 90s and 2000s, 2010s material, instead it's a few of those, like 10 songs, and it's all live stuff from all over the place, that kind of thing. But it's funny because this set was not well received. Last time, Steve, we talked about the 30th anniversary set. You can see it on this is the Sounds of Summer record, the original
hmm.
sleeve there. If we look at the anniversary stuff, Made in California is nowhere to be seen. That
Oh
kind of
yeah,
thing, People just it didn't resonate with them, that kind of
yeah.
thing. Which is a shame because I like a lot of the new stuff, or was at least new at the time. And I like a lot of the exclusive stuff, like My Love Lives On. My most listened to actually is the extended version of Rock and Roll Music with the extra verse, which I like
Hmm.
way more than the usual one, that kind of thing. And the book's really nice, I will say
Yeah.
that. I like that too. I know some people bought it, copied the CDs, and then resold it because they didn't want the book, but the book's actually really cool. There's even an ad for the Radiant Radish in it there for you. So,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff there. Oops. Dropping my notes here. But yeah, and still quite a few things that are unique to it as well.
Yeah. 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 Again, it did seem like a bit of a hodgepodge at the time with, that is it for people who are just getting into the Beach Boys and or for hardcore fans? And it's like a little bit of both and kind of falls between the rails for either one a bit.
Yeah, and not to mention, it's pretty much impossible to make one comprehensive Beach Boys box set. I mean, there's too much stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know a big criticism for this too was people would get mad because the particular era they wanted wasn't well recognized, that sort of thing. But also, like you said, with those mixes, they're all over the place. We have mono and stereo, new stereo, older stereo, all kinds of stuff like that. So I think it maybe needed a little more tweaking in that department, a little more consistency.
That's a
But
good
I
point.
do have a great time with Made in California. My video I did on Made in California is still one of my favorite ones. So,
Yeah.
but
Good.
yeah, there you go. All right. Well, Steve, you want to move on to the 2020s?
Let's do it.
All right. I'll hold up the vinyl one there.
There.
So, Steve, tell me about those white, hot, glistening, shadowy
Yeah.
flows.
Oh, this was just fantastic when it came out. I remember those days well. Yeah, a lot
So,
of revelations on here. So much of uh, work from Dennis that we never heard. Stuff from his solo album that just I was stunned at how much there was from those sessions. I mean, I always kind of assumed those sessions were more talk than anything else. So that was the real revelation. And again, my complaints about it are few. Again, there's what the Take a Load Off Your Feet from 1993 and
yep.
Disney Girls from like 1982, which, yeah, I'll go ahead and have them, but they seem to be padding things out a little bit and maybe a little bit unnecessarily too.
Yeah, I guess the 1993 one, I get that was from that unplugged concert they were doing, so maybe they thought it's like sounded different enough. I know some people got mad at like the mid 70s live tracks on here because they say they've been really doctored in studio, that they're like the
Oh,
studio versions remixed. I don't know if that's true or not, um little things like that. But honestly, Feel Flows delivers. Now, of course, this was planned for release in 2020. We even got the special little teaser back in 2019. I'm sure me and a few other million people downloaded it the moment it was released, that kind of thing. But then we had to wait a whole extra about year and a half before we actually got Feel Flows because the world went crazy. But it was worth the wait, I gotta say, because I think some people complain about the mixing and the sound quality, but honestly, I'm just happy to have complete Sunflower and complete Surfs Up with all the sessions, with all the bonus tracks, because there are a lot of great outtakes here too. I just got my pay, Soulful Old Man Sunshine, San Miguel, Cotton Fields, all kinds of fun ones there. So
right. Oh
it's
yeah, I know
really,
that. Speaking of the remixes, what was it? Celebrate the News. That they did a shorter mix of it.
I think
It's
they
like,
cut out the hello at the beginning. I know
yeah,
one version.
it's 224 instead of 330 or something. But it's like, well, Celebrate the News would be really good if it was just shorter. I mean, who says that? So that always seemed a little pointless to me to have a shorter mix of Celebrate the News. Again, it might as well have it, but
Well, Steve, some fan was sitting around and then he said, I got good news. I ain't got news. I got a shorter mix to celebrate the news, that kind of thing. So, the vinyl one, some people got mad about this too, is that it does like the original A side, and then there are some bonus songs, and then you flip it over the original B side and some bonus songs too. And some people didn't like that. They thought they should have kept kind of the original Sunflower and then done like a separate pack, because that's what they did with Sail on Sailor, was they kind of
oh,
separated the bonus tracks out. But
yeah.
I don't mind it. I mean, some of them are a bit unusual. We go from It's About Time to Cotton Fields to San Miguel backing vocals, so there's definitely
Yeah.
some
I've never seen
oddities.
vinyl, opened up. I didn't realize
Oh,
it was that elaborate.
actually, I bought the exclusive one, so I got the colorful
Ooh,
records.
man, that's nice.
Yeah. These are so light. These are like the lightest, flimsiest records I have. But still,
You must not have much RCA stuff from the 70s then.
I don't no, I don't think I
Okay.
do actually. So yeah, that's true too. I shouldn't say anything, huh? But um Sunflowers in blue and Surfs Up in orange, but they are a pain to get back in the sleeve here too. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably do that later. But I did think it was cool though. I love Feel Flows. I think it's such a
Yeah.
great thing. And you
Do you
mentioned
mind
those
showing the orange vinyl?
no, I can show the
Just
orange
curious to
file.
see it.
I just can never get it back in the
Yeah,
package.
sorry to put you through that if it's too
No,
big a
that's
pain.
okay. I did it once live, opening it on a video, and about half the video is me trying to get it back in. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I've been there. Believe. Oh man, that's beautiful.
yeah. So that was when they
Let me.
announced it on their website. You could get the
Wow.
exclusive there, and they're both double albums now. They're both gatefolds and stuff
Yeah.
too, because then they have the unused stuff
So
on
what's
the
in the
other record.
gatefold of Surf's Up?
Still not going to cooperate. I'll show you
Okay.
though. It's the lyrics.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
That makes
then I
sense.
think it kind of has that like cracked ground design that the poster has
Yeah,
the
okay.
original one.
The
So
outer part of that.
yeah,
Wow,
so
that's really, I had no idea.
yeah, but it's a great set. I mean, and I honestly, I think that sounds really good on vinyl too, to be honest. Some people
Yeah.
I know didn't like the mixing on the CDs, but on the records, you don't notice those imperfections as much. At least I don't anyway. Sounds a
Mm.
little more natural. But in that Dennis stuff you mentioned, that's some of the stuff I listen to the most, that old take of Cuddle Up, Hawaiian Dream, all that stuff. There's some really good stuff there. He could have definitely cranked out a few more great solo albums, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the sort of lost opportunities, certainly, that he didn't do a solo album in 71 when he first talked about it.
Yeah, yeah, too bad. And taken from us much too soon,
Yeah,
across
for
the
sure.
board there too. Yeah. All right. Well, Steve, you want to wrap this up with one more?
I suppose everybody knows next up is Sail On Sailor.
We just tune in my magic transistor radio here. All right. Oh, Steve, I'm the Pied Piper.
Another, I mean, I really, again, my review of this would be pretty much the same as Feel Flows. They're kind of bookends. And, there's what, a 93 version of All This Is That from that
Yep.
same. I don't know why they don't just put that concert out. I mean, I know they're going to do it eventually. Just give us the full show. Don't make us wait till the 50th anniversary and
2043 or so.
2043. Yeah, I'll have to live a long time to get all the 50th anniversaries. But
That's okay. I'll drive out and give it to you if you can't drive
yeah.
any. But it is such a great concert, and we actually there's a couple on the Pet Sounds set, the 2016 one. There's a couple on Made in California, a couple on Feel Flows, and of course one here. So it's like just release it. We've got like I
Huh.
think a quarter of it now. So who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, I much prefer hearing the whole show than a track here and a track there.
Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so some definite highlights here. We don't have too many actual like outtake songs. There's so many on Feel Flows, but here we got, Carry Me Home, which is a great song. Hard Times, that's a good one too. They're really good, but there aren't very many of them, really.
Yeah. I think it was just a period where they didn't have a whole lot of extraneous material to draw from. But
Yeah.
the Carnegie Hall concerts kind of make up for it. And there you got a full concert, a full historic concert. That's enjoyable. I'm really cool with having that. It's just like I say, the orphan live tracks. Oh,
Yeah, and then the vinyl, no gatefolds,
oh, okay.
and just the actual albums. And of course, Carnegie Hall gets three records. The last one has some of the like We Got Love and Carry Me Home, all that stuff, kind of at the end. But yeah, no gatefolds there. But Carnegie Hall was kind of pushed as the centerpiece, I think, to this collection because again, there were so few kind of brand new things for fans to hear, and even those things like We Got Love and stuff, you could technically find elsewhere, or for some of them they'd been bootlegged, that kind of thing. So I guess getting the complete Carnegie Hall. But it's funny because we had Carnegie Hall outtakes on Endless Harmony soundtrack and Made in California. So we'd heard some of it before, but I guess you figure it's making a vinyl debut. So that's something a little bit different.
Wow. Yeah, it's cool for me to see the vinyl of that as well, because I just got that set and that's it. And
I
really
remember
cool.
you telling me how much you like that too,
I
though.
know that's the thing I'm really burned about is you had to buy the vinyl to get that. That
Yep.
there's no reproduction of it or anything in this. This full on CD set. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
this is really cool. It's printed on really weird paper too. Reminds me of like the school workbooks I had back in the 90s. It's such a strange paper, but
Yeah.
it's really interesting to read. I wouldn't say it's like insightful per se, but it
Mm,
talks a lot about like just the move to Holland and how crazy it was, and the big machinery they brought was cracking the pavement on the airport as they rolled it in and that kind of stuff. It's really
yeah.
interesting. Just kind of, I
I wonder
guess,
how that
random.
compares to the original version of that, whether it's the same size. Somebody on my channel actually got one at Tower Records when the album came out. They at Tower Records on Sunset in LA. They were given those booklets away if you bought the album, and has the original one of the original booklets,
Huh.
which and I've seen photos of it, but I've never actually seen a pretty sure I've never actually seen a physical copy.
That would be so cool to have, you know?
Yeah,
Huh.
believe me, I
But
keep looking.
never know.
Yeah,
So, yeah. And then there was another thing. This is kind of weird because this is one of the few box sets that uses songs twice. You might recall for California Saga, they have it at the beginning and then kind of near the end. They're the same takes, but they changed the Beaks of Eagles part in the middle. I always
oh,
thought that was kind of strange.
Al Jardine's edit where he took out the part of the
Yeah, he
poem.
shortened it up and all that
Yeah,
stuff. But as far as I can tell, the Big Sur part and the California part are identical to what was earlier.
yeah. Well, my understanding of that was that Al Jardine thought it was too long, and so he took out. He always wanted to do this edit to take out part of the Jeffers poem. But if you take out that part of the Jeffers poem, it destroys the meaning of the poem.
Hmm.
He takes out the ending of it, so it's just like, oh, then they talked about eagles for a few minutes, and it doesn't resolve with the unchanged as the beaks of eagles. It doesn't resolve with the edit. So I think Al was wrong to mess with it. I think he was right the first time. His first call back in 72 or 3 was the right call.
Yeah, but it always stuck out as kind of strange. And I love the ending track to this. We get that little a cappella piece of All This Is That and for the
Yeah.
unused verse. I thought that was so cool. Someone online said how much they hated that and stuff. I thought, man,
Really?
that's a great moment to
Yeah.
just
I'd have loved to have
capitalize.
heard more of it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, that would, who knows how many outtakes and stuff, because we don't really get like alternate mixes of that song or anything like that, do we? I don't
Yeah.
think we do, because
Yeah.
not
Shoot.
every song, and I think this is true of the Feel Flow set too, not quite everything on those original albums got stuff. I know it's the case with this one. Feel Flows, I know it's probably a little bit
Yeah.
close,
Yeah.
but
Shoot. I'd listen to any take, any breakdown of all this is that. I don't care. You give me
yeah,
anything, I'll take it.
that's good stuff. But
Great,
they're
great.
really, really fun set there.
So what set do you think is next?
Well, I'm thinking 2026, we're gonna get a nice 15 big ones. Yeah, rock and roll music, the 1975 slash
Yeah.
six sessions.
Yeah.
So, because there's so much stuff for that album, that they could easily fill a box set. Now, of
Yeah.
course, in the old days, kind of like the Good Vibrations one, we got, nice jewel cases for everything, and those
Hmm.
days are gone. Now we'll get the little pockets there, the disc holders and
Yeah.
stuff. But that's I
They're
always
nice. They store nicer. I mean, I prefer those over the old jewel cases.
The only problem I have with this is if they're real tight, you can't always pull the disc out easily. Because I
Well,
know
that's true.
my
Yeah, you
mate,
have to be careful not to tear the. Yeah, it's
yeah,
not
my
ideal.
mate in California, the one disc was a little bit scuffed up because it had just been like compressed into that. It was so weird. But
Yeah,
um, but yeah, I always take mine out and put them in cases anyway. But I know we'll get something like that packaging, probably a book and probably disc holders, that kind of thing. But you tell me, what box set do you think's coming next?
well, I mean, I know people are still, including me, hoping for an extended, although we're a few years past the 50th, an extended Beach Boys in concert with
Hmm.
things like River Song and Jumpin' Jack Flash and, some of the other things that they did during that period that wasn't on the set. So I'd like to see that. I know a lot of people too, including myself, are still looking for Beachago with Chicago and with the Beach Boys. You'd think that, I mean, I know them being on different labels is supposed to have been what prevented it ever being released as a full live set before, but you'd think 50 years on, the labels would get together and go, okay, well, let's get together on this and make a few bucks with these
Yeah.
tapes that in your
It would
cabinet.
sell. There's enough Beach Boys fans, enough
Yeah,
Chicago, fans, so it's
right.
not unheard of. Or even I was always surprised their concert with the Grateful Dead has never been officially
Yeah,
released. Like I
yeah.
don't know.
Much live Grateful Dead stuff as comes out, you'd think.
Yeah, and who
For
knows?
sure.
But I
Yeah,
don't doubt it's some legal wrangling thing, I'm sure. But
undoubtedly. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know Rhino released. several years ago the Chicago part of that 1975 tour.
Okay.
So, that's already been released, but to have the full set with the Beach Boys, I'd like to see that. And I'd be
Yeah.
happy to see, although, I'm not going to be nearly as excited to, with the outtakes from 15 Big Ones as I was with, this, which, such a great period, or Smile or anything. But I'd love to have it, love to hear more about what they were doing.
Yeah,
And
no,
I think,
that'd be amazing.
yeah, and I think there's some really interesting stuff to be released from Adult Child from 77 when we get there, um, including a live concert, because they were playing a lot of that Beach Boys Love You stuff in concert during that
Hmm.
period. And then dropped it from the set. So, you know, I've heard live versions of it. And as I was talking to David Beard about, Dennis opened for the Beach Boys at a handful of shows in 77.
Hmm.
That he'd come out with Beach Boys backing musicians, do a set, promoting or premiering Pacific Ocean Blue, previewing it, I guess is the word, and then the Beach Boys would play. So wouldn't it be cool to have a Beach Boys 1977 live set that opens with a live Dennis Wilson set?
Yeah, there you go. And like I said, I mean, the Beach Boys proper did like River Song and stuff, but yeah, just to have Dennis do all that stuff would be really impressive. Plus, we'd probably get some of those leftover Christmas outtakes we talked about last time.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
sure
And though I
find their way.
understand the Dennis, I understand Dennis's, I've never heard it, but I understand Dennis's live stuff was very rambling, that he just
Hmm.
sit down and play chords, and everybody was like, "Well, where are you going? Where are you going with this, Dennis?" Yeah, but even if it's that, even if it's just kind of a meandering mishmash, God, fans would love to hear it, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Just,
Well, we,
you
we
know,
don't really have many documents of him live except with some of the Beach Boys gigs and stuff. So yeah,
yeah,
that would be amazing.
yeah, yeah. And I understand, well, I know that he was going to tour in the fall of 77, and it obviously got canceled, but they did get as far as rehearsing, and I don't know if David Beard seems to think that that nobody recorded the rehearsals. He said
Okay.
he had never heard that. But if there are rehearsal recordings around, boy, would that be cool to hear.
Yeah, I know. But there's so much great stuff that they could very easily, I think, put out a late 70s set. It would be a harder sell than
Yeah,
maybe Feel Flows and stuff would be. They'd
right.
probably have to combine a few eras but it's
Yeah.
certainly doable, you know? They might
Yeah,
even do like a digital
it makes
set
me
or something.
wonder if a set like this is, if they consider a set like this economically viable for 76 or 77, or whether it'll just be, you know, download only kind of thing.
Yeah, which I'm not opposed to the digital sets. I mean, I like them too. But I would love a hardback book and all that
You have some
nice.
information. I always like the
Yeah.
liner notes and the dates, and that's what really
Yeah,
makes.
it's weird because some of the digital ones have liner notes, but you have to search them up online and stuff, and some don't, and some
Yeah,
kind of do, and who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. Well, cool. Yeah. Well, some great stuff still out there, that still some possibilities for some more great stuff to come out of the vault. So,
We'll have to see what 2025 brings us in the Beach Boys world. So and maybe just before the year changes from 2024 to 2025, maybe we'll get Child of Winter re-released to vinyl.
yes, yeah. The sessions.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not holding my breath for that one.
Yeah, yeah. That's great.
All right. Hey, Steve, thanks for coming on and talking
Thanks
box
so much.
sets
It's
with
really
us.
always a blast. I just have so much fun just hashing this stuff over with you. It's really a
Hey,
great time.
hey, thanks for being on. Love having you on here. And then, of course, watchers, comment down below some of your favorite Beach Boys box sets, which ones you like and don't like, or what you would have included or left off. Don't forget to check out Steve's channel. He has some great stuff coming up for you.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, before,
I'm going off topic for the last 2 weeks of 24 and the first week of 25. I usually go off topic at year end. And this year it's Paul McCartney, Back to the Egg, and McCartney 2, because I just felt like I had a little different take on some of it at least. So I'll be interested to
hey,
think about it.
it'll be fun, I'm sure. And I got some weird things coming up. I just bought these bad boys to work with, so it'll be
Cool.
coming pretty soon. So Yeah, hey,
Great.
Steve, thanks for being on. So go out there and find your happy in-store display piece and pick up your copy of the Beach Boys Smile.
Thanks, Alex. Great,
Hey,
great.
no problem.
We appreciate it.
Friends, yep, we'll see you next time. Don't forget to check out Steve's channel, like and comment below, and we'll see you next time. So long.